Welcome to Michael Pott's F1, everything Formula One, but from a photographer's point of view. Formula One is in the middle of its summer break. This is an opportunity for teams and drivers to dust off their own cameras and take their own pictures for a change. This is the best opportunity for us to reflect on how the season's developed so far. In this series of vlogs, I'd like to take a close look at each of the teams, having a look at the team dynamics and seeing which driver is coming out on top. I'd like to show you some of my favourite shots taken during the course of the season and explain why they're interesting to me. Before we go any further, and if you like this, please do like and subscribe. It's really helpful for me. Thank you. To be honest, I wasn't expecting Red Bull to be that competitive this year. They had an epic title battle with Mercedes last year, which went down to the last lap of the last race. That should have meant that they weren't fully focused on this year's car. So what they've managed to achieve is quite remarkable. They haven't always had the quickest car, and they haven't had the most reliable car, but somehow they've managed to win 9 of the 13 races. They appear to make the right strategy calls when it matters. The drivers have been delivering, and the team is working together beautifully. Head to head, Max Verstappen versus Sergio Perez. Max Verstappen is leading the championship with 258 points. Sergio is third with 173. In the races that they've both finished, Verstappen leads that 7-2. And in qualifying, it's Verstappen 10-3. He's also won both of the sprint races. Max has 10 podiums, which include 8 wins, 1 second place, and 1 third place. In races that he's completed, he's only finished off the podium on 1 occasion. Perez has 6 podiums, which include 1 win and 5 second places. Verstappen has 3 pole positions, and Perez has 1. Sergio Perez. Perez joined Red Bull knowing that he'd be number 2 to Max Verstappen. He was given the opportunity last year to drive the same car that won the championship, and this year to drive the same car that's currently leading the standings, with the full knowledge that he wasn't allowed to compete fairly with Max Verstappen for race wins. There have been a number of cases this year where Sergio's had to move over for Max. This teamwork is part of the reason why Red Bull is nearly 100 points ahead of Ferrari. It's great for the team. It's great for Max Verstappen, but how much longer is it going to be great for Sergio Perez? He's been very good at picking up the pieces where Max couldn't, and he got his very first win of the season in Monaco. This photograph is from the team celebration after the race in the Red Bull swimming pool. It's an amazing moment, with the team enjoying a remarkable result. Sergio managed to qualify ahead of Max, and then executed a perfect strategy to go from third to first. It's unusual in Monaco, where the winner usually starts on the front row. It's so difficult to overtake there. The second shot is of him taking up his grid position in Saudi Arabia. It was his first pole position. Here the team have secured the car at the back of the grid, and they're preparing to wheel it to its starting position. The brakes and air vents are being cooled with dry ice. Once the car is in its starting place, they'll fit the correct tyres and check that the fuel levels are correct. This pole position was remarkable for Checo. The Saudi track is a fast, complex, very technical track, and he managed to outperform all of his more fancied opponents. Max Verstappen. Max has evolved as a driver this season. In his first few years in Formula One, we knew he was fast, but he had a tendency to take risks, which often didn't come off. We saw this a bit last year with Max and Lewis. They collided quite a lot, neither driver giving an inch. But very generally speaking, it was probably Max pushing the boundaries a little bit more. But now the new Max is thinking much more strategically. And that's not just strategically for one overtake or one race. He's thinking more in terms of championships. That's got to be terrifying for the rest of the paddock. Charles was craftier than him in Bahrain, but Max learned from that and then outsmarted him in Jeddah. He's been able to be a lot more circumspect as the points gap between him and Charles widen, so that pressure increases. He's been able to be patient, controlled, and wait for that pressure to overwhelm Ferrari. So far this season, he's only had 2 retirements, and he's only finished off the podium once. That's incredible consistency. My first shot of Max is of him celebrating his win in Miami with his girlfriend, Kelly Piquet. It was such a passionate celebration. It was wonderful to see. Max came from third on the grid to be leading when there was a late safety car. He managed to control things and go on to win the race. These shots are always a bit hit and miss. As photographers, we need to claim our spots in the winning area before the teams and the girlfriends get there. This often means that he's been quite far away from the action. This time, however, it worked perfectly for me. The next shot is of Max in front of his fans in Austria. Max has been followed to most of the races this year by a large contingent of fans, known as the Orange Army. In Barcelona, they had their own DJ in the stands. In Hungary, large parts of the main grandstand were orange. But in Austria, it felt like the whole track was orange. He's returned their loyalty by winning a lot. He won the sprint race in Austria, and even though he couldn't go on to win the main event, his fans were still ecstatic. One final shot of Max is this one of him and Lewis embracing at the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Last year's 2 main protagonists are able to celebrate each other's success. It's great to see the camaraderie even after everything that happened last year. Thank you for watching my review of Red Bull Racing midway through the 2022 season. That's it. That's all 10 teams reviewed. If you've missed one, have a look in the description. There's a link to all the reviews there. Max has such a large lead in the championship. It's more of a question of when, not if, he'll win his second title. So if you think he's going to win the title, at which race do you think he'll clinch the crown? Will it be at the final race in Abu Dhabi, or could it be as early as 5 races before in Japan? Will Red Bull let Perez and Max race against each other more now that they have this cushion? Please do let me know in the comments below. The next vlog will be something a little bit different. The premiere is scheduled for the 25th of August at 9:45 Central European Time, the start of the second half of the season. Thank you and good night.